I got interested in genealogy when the Civil War series came out in the early 90s, late 80s. I would go to the National Archives with a very little bit of knowledge about Captain William McCain, my great-great-grandfather who fought through almost the entire Civil War before he was killed. Um, and of course today with Ancestry.com, people are able to add their knowledge to the knowledge of other people and the research done by many folks in documenting family trees and ancestry and important events in the history of our country, as well as the motherlands that many of our people are, all of our people, where they came from. And so that whole process of doing genealogy research has been very rewarding, because almost every time I do it, I'm rewarded. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but I almost always find the needle in the haystack, and it's very rewarding. Our Hemingway ancestors, I'll talk about that for a minute. Ralph Hemingway came over on a sailing vessel in about 1630, settled in Boston, had a big family, and a number of them went south to Connecticut and settled East Haven, Connecticut. So New Haven is where Yale University is, and one of our ancestors was the very first student at Yale University. So when I told Jim that years ago, his reply was, I wish I'd known that when I was trying to get my kids in good schools, because we would have had one of them be a legacy, go to Yale. I think it's pretty neat that our ancestor was the very first student at Yale. But that Hemingway ancestry produced two presidents of the United States, and one of the more famous authors in the world, you know, in modern times, Ernest Hemingway. But William Howard Taft is descended from Ralph Hemingway, as am I, as perhaps you are, depending on who you are. And Richard Nixon was also a descendant of Ralph Hemingway. The two presidents of the United States, and a very famous author. And then there's us. I'd say we're doing pretty well at representing that Hemingway family.